Okay, we're going to talk about how to split text in Google Sheets using the left, the mid, and the right formula. So here you'll see I have a series of names with first name, last name, phone number, street address, city, state, zip, and social security number. And a lot of the times when you're trying to split text in Google Sheets, you will have names that you want to break out into first name and last name. You have numbers that you might want to break out as well, street addresses that need to be combined or taken apart. So we'll show you how to use the concatenate function too. And then also social security numbers. You know, a lot of times you'll want to see the last four social security numbers. Of course, these names look familiar, but none of the numbers are the same. They're just used because it's fun. So what I want to show is the left function and what you can do with the left function as we go into Google Sheets. The left function returns a substring from the beginning of a specified string. And then you'll see the example there, left, Google Sheets, comma 2, will return GO. And then the syntax is there as well. But let's see it in practice. So for example, if I put in E equals left, open parentheses, A8, comma 3, I will get Tom. And then if I go even further, I could do equals left, open parentheses, A9, and I could do 5. Right? And that's pretty simple. But the problem is every first name has a different number of characters. So Zendaya is longer than Tom. Sabrina, Bad is shorter. Olivia, Pedro, Ariana, they're all a little different. So what do we do about that? That is where the find function comes into place. And it's truly helpful. And so what find does is it helps determine the number of characters from the left until it finds that character in the sequence. So for example, you know, Taylor Swift, Tom Holland, not Zendaya, but Sabrina Carpenter, Bad Bunny, Olivia Rodrigo, they all have a space. So if I want to find that space, I can do that with the find function. So what we'll look at here is find, and it shows or will return the value at which a string is first found within text where the capitalization of letters matters. So a capital I is important and a lowercase I is important because the find function pays attention to that. And again, you can see the example, find DEF in ABCDEFG, comma 2. So what that will do is, if we go back, is say equals find, equals find, open parentheses, and I'm going to find the space in A8, close parentheses. And what that will do is it'll tell me the fourth character is the space. But say I wanted to know what character was right before the space. That's where, if you noticed, there's another comma here, and you can do the parentheses and then do -1, and now you'll notice we've got 3. Or you could do +1, and you'll get the first character of the last name. Now what happens if we do that with Zendaya? We'll have a problem because Zendaya doesn't have a space. So again, you got to be able to find the space, otherwise you'll get the value. So we'll see that. We won't talk about how to fix that. We'll just recognize that as an error and that it doesn't work. So if I wanted to break out into first name or last name, what we would do is we would say equals left, open parentheses, A7 for Taylor Swift, and we'd want to find the space and then subtract 1, and then I will get her full first name as appropriate, and I can copy that down, and you'll see I'll get the value for Zendaya, which is okay because there's no space. But again, let's look at that one more time. Left A10, so it's looking for Sabrina Carpenter. And what I want to find is the space, and then return how many characters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The space is in the 8th character, and I'm going to subtract 1, and then I'm going to return everything to the left. And that will show Sabrina is the 7 characters to the left of that space. Now let's go to the right function, and let's talk about that. Equals right, open parentheses. We're going to do this, and we're just going to do 6, close parentheses. Again, what you'll see is you'll get the 6 characters to the right. And where this is really easy to recognize is over with Social Security numbers. A lot of times they'll ask for the last 4 digits of a Social Security number. So what I can do is, as we look at right again, just for context, returns a substring from the end of a specified string. Right, Google Sheets, comma 2 is going to pull back T and S. So we're going to continue down, and we're going to use that formula here, equals right, open parentheses, comma 4, close parentheses. And there you'll see the 6, 7, 8, 9. We'll copy that, bring it down, and paste. And all this stuff you can do on your phone, but you can also do it on desktop as well. So don't get discouraged if I'm on my phone and you want to do it on your computer, because all this works on the computer as well. So that's how the right function works. But maybe what you want is you want to get the zip code. And so here, or you want to get the last name. The zip code just does the last 5 because that's going to be the end of the address. So let's scroll back to last name and say you want to get the last name. And again, Swift, Holland, Carpenter, they're all going to be a little bit different, longer and shorter. Here's how you do Swift, and it's the same thing as the left. You do right A7, but you've got to add this len A7 minus find, quote, space, quote, comma A7, and that will get you the last name. So let's look at len and see what that is. Len returns the length of a string. So len Google Sheets will return the whole length of the Google Sheet. So it'll tell us the number of characters within those quotes every time. So what this is doing is it is finding A7, Taylor Swift, and then it's determining the length of A7, and then it's subtracting the amount from the space in order to get the remaining digits to turn in. So Taylor Swift is 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then it's saying find the space. The space is in 7. So it's taking 12 minus 7 equals 5. Give me the 5 characters on the right of that string. Does that make sense? If you have any questions about formulas or things that you're working on that you need help with, put it in the comments, let me know, and I'll build a live stream around it. But the right and the left and the mid functions aren't that strong unless you can add these len and find functions to them and build a complex formula to help you get the results that you're looking for. So again, I'm going to copy this, and then I can paste it down. And you can see, again, I get a value for Zendaya because she doesn't have a last name. And so it's not going to show up. There's no space. There's nothing to find. So now in the mid, one of the ways that we can look at that is if I have a city-state zip and I want to get the state, I can pull that state out. So for example, I have Tennessee here. Again, this is going to get a little complicated. So let's stop here and let's look at mid and see what mid is. Returns a segment of a string, but it does it in the middle of the formula. So the easy way to do it is to, here we'll do it with the social security number. Say we want the middle 2 digits. We can do equals mid, open parentheses, M7, comma, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, comma 2. And we're going to go to the 5th character. We want that character and another one, 2. I could do 3, 4, 5, but I just did the 2, and then I've got the 13. So that's how mid works. You select the cell, and then you count over characters from the left, and then you select how many characters you want. But again, Nashville, Atlanta, Los Angeles, New York, they're all different characters, so you got to be a little more strategic and a little more complex. And what you'll see here is mid I-7, which is the city-state zip. And I want to find the comma in I-7, and then I want to add 2 characters and then give me 2 digits because every state is going to be 2 digits. So now when we copy this down, we'll see that we're going to pull all those states because it's finding the comma every time, adding 2 digits, and then giving me the first letter there and the second letter because it's 2. So that's how you use the mid function in Google Sheets. Now, how did I do this? I had city, state, zip, and I wanted to collect them all and put them in one cell or one column, one cell, so that I could break out the state and show you how to use the mid function. I did that with concatenate. So concatenate can combine anything, and it's a very strong function that gets a lot of use from me. And let's look at it and see what it says. Concatenate is the ability to append a strings to one another. So append strings to one another. Sorry, I started that sentence out poorly. The example is hello and goodbye. You'll basically say hello, goodbye. And then concatenate string 1, string 2, etc. But what's interesting about that, if I do equals concatenate Nashville, comma, Tennessee, G7 and hit enter, they're going to be together without a space. So I have to find a way to add a space and get that to work out well for me. So the way that I do that is I add another string and add the space. So if I do quote, space, quote, then I'll get my space the way that I want it. And now I've got Nashville, Tennessee with a space. So how did I do it here? I'll just show you for sake of time. Concatenate, I did F7, which was the city, comma, quote, comma, space, quote, to get the comma space. You'll see like that in Atlanta, Georgia. And then I did G7, which was the state. And then I did quote, space, quote, comma, H7, which is the zip code, to get it to look the way that I did. And did you notice something? When I did this formula, it was able to understand the result of this formula. This formula didn't have to be text. It could be this formula, and then the mid function and the find function were still able to do the job that it needed to do. So that is left, mid, right, concatenate, find, and len. To learn more Google Sheets, subscribe to our channel, watch this next video. If you like this video, comment and let us know why. And then also, if you're struggling with formulas or Google Sheets, please send me a comment and tell me what you're working with, and I can build live streams around those comments. So